All right, welcome and thanks for joining me today. Let's talk. So, I don't know how many people are like me, but I'm big on energy and being in the right headspace, mental health, and that sometimes boils over to how you interact with people and how you share your energy with people, spend time with people, and you're very selective with those things. So, one of the things I'm very selective with is having conversations over the phone. I don't mind texting, and even that sometimes I might wait a little bit to text back. But for the most part, when it comes to phone calls, I pick and choose which calls I take and who I choose to spend that time with, depending especially on where my head is at the time. So, um, for the last couple, let me rewind. So, I have a best friend. He's a boy. We've been best friends since before second grade, and he's the godfather to my child and just a delightful individual. As pleasant as can be, very all around, just extraordinary, bubbly person, gets along with anybody, positive, and just always looking at how he can do things for you to help you out, make life easier. So he's a great person, and for the most part, as of lately, he has pretty much carried our relationship as far as goes for friendship. So he does more of the calling, he does more of the checking in, and before it used to be a back and forth thing. But as of lately, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not as good as a friend to him as he is to me. But if he ever needs anything, he knows I would be there in a heartbeat. And I always reiterate that whenever we do talk and let him know, like, hey, if you ever need anything, I'm here for you. If you want to talk, you want to go somewhere, da, da, da. But um, I hadn't heard from him in a while, and usually he calls me every other week, every few days to check up on me. Sometimes I pick up, and usually around the third time he calls, I'll pick up. So he might call one day here, another day there, and on the third day I'm like, okay, let me check in and see how he's doing. Even sometimes if my mental health is not in the right place and I'm not in the right headspace. But I hadn't heard from him in a while, and he was resting on my mind. Um, a few days ago, and I'm like, man, I wonder how he's doing. I had a conversation with my fiance about him, and just concerned, like, I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope he's doing good. I'm sure he's doing good, right? And reassured myself, like, oh, whatever, I'll check on him later. And today I said, you know what? I haven't heard from him. Let me reach out and see how he's doing. And lo and behold, when I reach out, I'm like, hey, you've been on my mind. I haven't heard from you. I just want to make sure everything's good. See how you're doing. How's your job going? Just check in type of text. So you respond back right away, which is strange for him because he's pretty good with his responsive rate. He waited about maybe 30 to 45 minutes. I'm like, man, okay. But when he responds, like, hey, girl, I'm good, but I have COVID and I've been in the hospital and I felt like I was going to lose my life. Now, the only reason why I'm sharing this story is we have valuable people in our life. We have people that we have um, built these relationships over time. We have people that if they were not here tomorrow, we would feel some type of way. And this is, I'm really preaching to myself, but I feel like this message could also be very useful for other people, just for the mere fact that sometimes we put ourselves first before anyone else, not knowing what someone else may need, not knowing what else someone else is going through. And it is semi selfish. At times I feel like I have to be selfish because I'm a giver by nature. Um, and I think I need to kind of find a balance with that, because there are some amazing people that God has blessed me in my life with, and I think it's only right that I reciprocate that same energy to them. And you know who those people are in your life. You know those people that you can call no matter what. They'll be there for you, good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to support you. They're going to hold you down. and how they have showed up in your lives countless times to provide that support and that great energy for you to bring you out of dark places. This is the same person that at 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, I want to drive by my boyfriend's house. Now, this is like when we're teens, but I'm like, I want to drive by my boyfriend's house. Come get me. And he's like, what? I don't even have no papers on my car. And he's like, I'm coming. So this is how far we go back, you know? Um, and I feel like I kind of let him down in a sense too, because all the time that he's always been there for me, um, when he probably needed me most, and maybe he didn't even need me, um, I probably didn't pick up the phone when he had called to tell me, or when he reached out because, he just wanted to let me know that he was going through that. And it was a little hard for me to kind of take that in and process that today. But I'm sharing this with you just to say sometimes um, it's okay if you need time for yourself, but at the same time, know the people that's always there in your corner for you to reciprocate that same energy. And what I could have done a lot of times when I don't pick up is just send a text message and say, hey, I'm busy. Well, everything all right? Just because if there is something urgent that this person may need, you want to let them know that you're still here to support them and love upon them and be there for them. Um, and that's really what it boils down to, is because like I said, sometimes I'm selfish with my time, with my energy, with what I'm giving people, because I give so much. So sometimes I become drained and I need to replenish myself. And that's me taking time for myself to rebuild and be ready to give again, right? So it's not really selfish, but at the same time, you never know when someone needs you to give. So be ready to do so. And, you know, be careful, because truthfully, once he said to me, man, I could have died on Friday. It's like, man, how would I have felt? It's like he's been reaching out all the time. I missed his calls, and I never even thought, like, oh, you know what? Let me check on him. He's the one that's always calling me of lately, and it just didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel good about it, and I felt like, you know what? Maybe it's time to make a little shift in how I've been handling things. Not only with his relationship, but with other people, because I do the same thing to my sister too. It's like I can't do this right now, and send you to the answer machine. Um, and it's not good. I could probably just pick up like, "Hey, I'm busy. What's up? Everything okay? Oh, okay, everything's all right. All right, I'm gonna call you back later." Or send a text and just like, "Hey, in the middle of something, I'm in a meeting," which 9 10 of the time, especially in the daytime, I'm in a meeting, which is a fact. Um, but if everything's okay, it's an emergency, and just hit them back later when I have some free time. And when I only got 5 10 minutes, we can talk real quick. What's up? Because at the same time, some of these conversations can be lengthy, and you'll be there again depleted, and that's not really good for you either. So finding the balance between the two of giving and taking care of yourself. That's really all I have for you guys today. All right.